at the bare minimum, your announcers have to be asking the questions that you, the viewer at home, would be having. Like, what about The Rock? Why did he align with The Rock? You need to be hitting home the question that you want answered, which is the question everyone wants answered. And instead, we're in like the Twilight Zone where, since Elimination Chamber, The Rock doesn't exist. John Cena comes out and he asks the audience, do you have something on your mind? He says, I have turned the spotlight on you and I can rip any one of you to shreds. Last week, I put a clueless kid on blast and it got posted everywhere. You all loved it. And they chant, F you, Cena. And Cena says, I always tell the truth while you use profanity. You laughed and memed a poor kid that was destroyed by me last week. I have listened to your lies and noise for 25 years. Your life is sad because being here, watching me, is the best it's going to get for all of you. I have conducted an experiment on you like rats in a cage throughout my career. When I bled, you thought I was tough. When I spoke, you were inspired. When I was edgy, you were excited. When I was vanilla, you were bored. And when I was selfish, you were disrespected. And the crowd's just, what? And he ends it by stating, and when I speak in rhythmic tones, you chant what? And it's like this crowd was like, oh, he got us. And Cena, you make this so simple. I will have my complaints a bit at the end of this segment, but I thought Cena was tremendous during this.
I thought this was one of the best takedowns of the what chant we've ever had. You know, not only did he take it down, he introduced it so that he could take it down, and he did it masterfully.
And this is a guy who is typically very good on his feet, but just the cadence of this, it's like he knew these chants were coming, and this felt like he was building to this line and not one where he was just reacting to the what chants. Like, it felt like he had, and he was delivering this line item that totally inspires the what chant. I thought this was really well done.
Well, I don't know if there's much exaggeration to what he was telling us here. You know, he has studied all of our reactions to him from afar, and he essentially, throughout his entire 20-year babyface run, has been using us as a social experiment to learn our behaviors. What a sicko, right? All this time. Let's
not give him too much credit, okay? Studying wrestling fans over the past 25 years, not the most creative people in the world. Like, there are 5 chants that exist and like 3 songs. Like, that is sort of the whole arsenal.
I would argue wrestling fans are actually a lot more creative than fans of plenty other sports. You know, like, you think there are a few, football, soccer excluded.
Okay,
but come
that's
on,
what I'm
like,
gonna say.
Or just even like I don't know, fans of other things, or even like
I'm sorry. As long as the "This is awesome" Fight Forever crowd exists, you're not going to get any creativity points from me. We need to update some chants in wrestling.
Okay, I'll give you that. But like, politics is all about like predicting your audience's reactions, and I feel like from what I can see, some of those audiences are a lot more easier to manipulate than professional wrestling crowds in some ways. But I love this sort of early portion where Cena essentially like broke down the crowd and analytically told us what he's been doing for 20 years. It feels like the type of like exaggeration of like who the real person John Cena might be, that, you know, we kind of got in Total Divas, where he's a guy who you can tell, even though he plays this like kid's character dressed up in Fruity Pebbles colors, you can tell he's an extremely thoughtful person where he thinks about the details of everything. And it's almost like he's basically just kind of exaggerating that side of his personality, where he's turning down the friendliness, driving up the coldness to the point where he's a machine, sort of. He's a computer. He's a prototype, if you will, you know? And I think I love this early portion.
Yeah. I mean, there's something to be said for a man that has had this in him for 25 years, this hatred of this fan base, that he has bit his lip for this long.
That part still doesn't completely equate, and maybe that to me is still one of the weaknesses of this, is in that we were never given a real compelling reason for why he's doing this now.
Well, and we may not have a compelling reason. We will get to that because once again, a very the omission of one Dwayne Johnson continued. But he says the most important thing happened in April of 2005. That's when I gave you the spinner belt and you ate me alive and called it stupid for making a toy out of your prized championship that was taken seriously. Now he knows what makes the fans vulnerable. You're all belt marks, and I am going to ruin wrestling for everyone. He states that at WrestleMania, I will win my 17th title, which will make you forget the fun machine that is Ric Flair. Don't know if that was a heel line to everybody out there, but he says, I will win this championship and retire with it, thus taking this title home, and you can create a new toy belt because the real one goes home with me because I will be the last real champion in WWE. So what he is saying is he is going to take this championship away from the people. This love that this fan base has for the prestigious championship, and it invites the opportunity that they might have to create a second world championship way. And
no,
then
I can't live. I can't live if
that
they
would
break
be crazy.
The lineage of this the pristine professional wrestling championship title. I can't.
Yes.
No.
So, okay. We will get to the Cody portion here, but the first half of this, again, I thought Cena's performance here was tremendous. I thought it was actually better than even last week. Like, I thought the performance side of it was great. But there is, even if you want to give the leeway that whatever the Rock involvement, the explanation is going to come at a later date. If you want to just throw that they're not going to explain it now. At the bare minimum, your announcers have to be asking the questions that you, the viewer at home, would be having. Like, what about The Rock? Why did he align with The Rock? You need to be hitting home the question that you want answered, which is the question everyone wants answered. And instead, we're in like the Twilight Zone where since Elimination Chamber, The Rock doesn't exist. He's been severed from this story. And to me, it's still like this big gaping hole in all of this that we're kind of just going with, well, Cena hates the fans. And I just felt like when that graphic came up later tonight, that next week they will be face to face, it was like, man, I'm like, what more do we like? If this is like the gear that we are in, I just don't know what more we have left here with this dynamic. Like something new needs to be introduced here.
There's certainly a lot more they can say. You know, we haven't really had the sort of personal promos, the personal attacks, at least from Cena. We've not heard Cena's sort of explicit thoughts about Cody Rhodes, the person. We've heard a little bit from Cody about Cena, but not the other way around. These past 2 weeks, last week was about the fans. This week is about the championship. So I would argue there's still a lot. But to your point, John, you know, coming off of last week, I saw a lot of reaction to the reaction from people who were critical of that promo saying, hey, like we got so much more time, you know, just like let it play out, let it play out. I don't completely disagree with that sentiment, but at the same time, these are big questions that you were left with coming off of Elimination Chamber. And at the very least, I think they deserve to be hinted towards or at least addressed, you know, like you mentioned, you know, either having the announcers ask that question or Cena saying, I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to wait till, you know, a time that I choose to explain that question just to kind of make this feel like it's more of an off ramp from what we came off of from the pay-per-view rather than just what feels like almost a complete forgetting of that particular moment. All that said, I agree with you. I thought this was fantastic. To me, still a little mustache twirly for my particular taste. You know, I could kind of do without the I'm going to end this company and there's nothing you can do about it, sort of like supervillain grandeur. At the same time, I understand that maybe Cena as a wrestler, like I think he only has one gear, and that is to play to a wider audience. Many of them being, you know, perhaps people who want a supervillainy type of character.
So are we going with the idea that Cena could win the title at WrestleMania and he retires at WrestleMania? Is that
No, that he keeps it until his retirement at the end of the year. I think that's what he's suggesting.
Well, that's hardly a threat. I'm going to win this title and then I'm going to defend it for another 8 months where you will have opportunities to take this title from me, and then I'm going to leave.
Well, he's confident enough that
really
he will
got us
keep-
over a barrel here, John.
Well, he's confident that he's going to keep it for that
You're
long.
taking half of our world championships. Whatever will we do? I mean, it's
Yeah, it really
I
is,
didn't take this as the threat that this audience was exactly. Oh no! Oh, what
It really
what will
does
we do?
completely forget about Gunther and Jey Uso's match. With that one not really being the one that we all love at all, I suppose.
Well, you kind of had to overlook that giant aspect to this. That yes, we do
Listen,
have.
our role here as professional wrestling podcasters is to pick this thing apart with a microscope. I would suggest most
This
people
is not
aren't.
nitpicking. There are 2 world championships. We just
Yeah.
spent 2 months
Okay.
of people winning Royal Rumbles and to pick a champion.
I don't
think that's nitpicking.
I think it's nitpicking because in the end of this, do you think most people hated John Cena and wanted to see Cody Rhodes beat John Cena?
At the end of this segment,
Yes.
I don't think the threat of the championship changed that at all. I think people's reaction to that would have been the same as I think people just want to see this match.
Okay. Well, I think at the end of this, even if that sentiment was already there among the fans, I think they at least maintained it, if not heightened my desire to want to see Cody Rhodes beat John Cena. And all the details about like why did John Cena wait 20 years to explain this? Most people aren't thinking about that. And all we really have to ask is, do I hate John Cena more after this? And at the very least, I would say yes.
Well, I think the Spinner Championship is coming back, and they're going to be selling those at a
That's
ridiculous
what
rate.
That's
And
what
all
he
the-
should do. Win
all
the
these-
championship.
All these
bring the Spinner
hypocrites
back.
in the crowd that he's going to call out and shame for buying these championships.
So he mentioned Flair. Do you think we see Flair at any point before Mania? Even
I would say yes. I think
so
we
too.
do.
Yeah.
Cody comes out. The crowd goes wild for him. They're singing for Cody and says, "You have to take the belt from me first." And says, this was weird because last week he was talking about how, this is not the John Cena that better show up for WrestleMania. I need the old John Cena because I'm going to run through this version. And he just totally backtracked this. He's like, no, I maybe underestimated this new version of John Cena. This might be the most dangerous version of John Cena. So he's done a total 180 on the threat level. And he says that he's challenging Cena on the spot to try and take his belt. And Cena teases having the match right now in Glasgow, but he walks off. So he teases coming back. He doesn't. And Cody says that your psychotic need to win this title doesn't outweigh our need to keep this championship. You'll leave empty-handed at WrestleMania and away from WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, Cody, for these 2 weeks, like his role really is to just Cena's the one who kind of we're all here for. We're still like very much enamored by this heel John Cena. Cody just has to react and not be swallowed by, I think, our very, I think, still large attraction to this heel John Cena. And Cody, I think, is doing a great job of that. He's doing a great job of still feeling like the main character in all of this, despite this sort of shiny new toy we're all completely like interested in. Cody, like if I feel Cena still a little bit mustache twirly, Cody, I don't think has that problem at all. Even in sounding like a super Boy Scouty Captain America type of babyface, he sounds so convincing doing it that I can believe that this is who this actual person is.
yeah, I won't be too critical. I'm just saying that next week, I do feel this. I think you have run near the edge of just the novelty of Cena in this role. And I do think next week you do need to take this segment to another level if we're just doing another in the ring trading of words.
I think they will. Again, I at this point want them to hear to get a bit more personal with each other. Cody alluded to
Maybe it'll be a battle rap.
Maybe that's week 5. Yeah, maybe at some point. But they do have a long history together. Cody's alluded to like driving Cena around and all that. I'm sure they have a lot of material that they could dig into. I want this.
Did they
to get
take
a bit more
photos
personal.
together back in the day? That'll be key for the package.
Plenty, I'm sure. If you like this video, consider joining our Patreon, the Post Wrestling Cafe. Multiple bonus podcasts every week, ad-free shows, and access to our full archive. Otherwise, a like and subscribe is much appreciated. Thank you for watching.